Yo, what's up guys, my name is Mr. Freeze2244 and welcome to today's video. In this one we'll be covering the Hitman Freelancer blog post that came out today, along with the launch trailer that came with it. It's a launch cinematic, it's not exactly a trailer, but it's a launch cinematic that got released today, and I'll be showing you that at the end of the video. So the blog post that got released today by IO Interactive, they haven't actually announced this yet, but it's I'm going to go through the blog post and explain all the parts, and it's going to basically explain everything to do with Freelancer, when it's coming out and what it's all about. So if you don't know anything about Freelancer, this is a good video to get into. So let's get through it. So I'll leave a link in the description of the blog post itself. I'm going to leave the most important stuff on the screen, but here it is as follows. So from the top it says, Hitman Freelancer adds some new types of gameplay into the normal gameplay recipe of the main game. An important example of this is what we call strategic planning. Where the main game can be described as the VIP version of being an assassin, where the player has an organisation that finds the targets and supplies both detailed briefings as well as gear, Agent 47 has a lot of hard work taken care of for him. In Hitman Freelancer, that's not the case. It's much more of an independent experience where a lot of the surrounding work of being an assassin is put into the hands of the player. Players will have to build and maintain an arsenal of gear, but also decide on what to bring to missions, weigh up the pros and cons of having a limited gear capacity and the risk of losing valuable and hard to come by equipment. So it adds on to the blog post in more detail here at the bottom. It says expanded player freedom. Another way that Hitman Freelancer gives more freedom to the player is by giving them the choice of which syndicates to go up against, all based on the player's preferred gameplay style, favourite locations, and maybe even the personal dislikes of certain types of crime of the player. The opportunities for success against these syndicates will very much rely on the tools a player has available when commencing a mission. Without a handler, players can also delve into the important role of carrying out their own recon and investigation work by identifying targets in showdown missions. Everything is an opportunity that can be planned for and exploited by a player who is good at creatively combining information in the safe house and improvising when something unexpected happens on a mission. So this is where it becomes a little bit tricky compared to the main game itself. So in that little paragraph there, it goes on to say about preferred gameplay style you can choose from different contracts. You'll have about 8 contracts to choose from, and they'll all have different styles of how you want to play. Now there's some contracts that will involve getting Silent Assassin, doing it as stealthy as possible with fiber wiring up close and personal. Other ones will require using machine guns. Another one will require using explosives. The other ones will require using, poisons and consumable poisons and syringes and stuff like that. And one that involves sniping. The other ones that involve blades. So it depends on your style of play or which way you want to do it. So you've always got an option of the best way of doing it. Personally, I like going with the once you've got a decent pistol and stuff like that, it's worth going that route. I think it's probably the easiest way of getting around through these contracts, because the stealthy ones aren't exactly the best of fun. We've already done that in the main game, so why not have fun? Silent Assassin is not important. It's not important in Freelancer, and that's the good thing about it. You can eliminate witnesses if you'd like. It does not matter as long as things don't get out of hand and you die. That would be a fail of the mission, but whether you take out non-targets or not, it really doesn't matter unless it's an objective that you want to complete. And that's what I like about Freelancer. There's a lot of freedom involved with it. So it goes on to say at the end here, this is the last paragraph of the blog post. It says that the last word. The key here is that Hitman Freelancer puts the strategic planning of a mission into the hands of the player. The game mode relies on randomized elements that are rolled independently of each other. The game mode gives the player all the available information, but there's no guarantee that an objective, for instance, is possible when on the mission. To succeed, it is up to the player to ensure that a payout objective is possible by bringing the correct gear or choosing the correct combination of location, brought gear and objectives. In that sense, Hitman Freelancer is very different from the main game. There's no hand-holding mission stories with scripted custom kills that are always possible. Every iconic takedown in Hitman Freelancer is an emergent construct of systemic game mechanics at the foresight of the creativity of the player. So everything is down to you. basically, is what it's saying. So what it essentially is if you just summarize it, really, it's just a glorified contract. Basically, they're just glorified contracts overall, but that's not the be all and end all of it, because there's all the stuff that goes with it is what the fun part is. The fun parts are collecting the weapons. The fun parts are opening up all the areas of the safe house. The safe house is gorgeous, by the way, so if you've never played Freelancer, it's a lot of fun. It's very addicting, and I think a lot of players are going to be enjoying this for many months ahead. And yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to it. It comes out January 26th, and it's pretty much a game changer for Hitman, I think. Whereas the main game has been heavily exhausted for me. It's something that I just kind of resent playing now. I only play it really these days just to push out guides when it comes to the content that's being released. Who knows if there's going to be more content released after Freelancer? We don't know that yet. But I'm certainly looking for the Freelancer and seeing if there's any changes that they've made between the beta and now. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to that and seeing what the differences are. But yeah, should be streaming a lot of it. In terms of guides itself, as it says in the blog post there, that it's randomized elements. So you've got randomized targets, randomized objectives and stuff like that. So it's not exactly the sort of thing I can do a guide on. The only thing I can do is start a syndicate and show you the process through several videos of my entire way of completing it. As just for entertainment purposes kind of thing, and you may be able to get some tips from me during these videos. But apart from that, there's not really much else I can do there. I can drop hit tips and tricks and stuff throughout that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. January 26th that comes out. It's going to be available for everyone that owns Hitman 3 or Hitman World of Assassinations, what it's going to be called from that date. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But without further ado, here is the launch cinematic. So enjoy it.
International crime syndicates have elevated their business into a booming global economy. Dark money, goods and services are crossing borders like never before. Criminal entrepreneurs use next-gen social profiling to recruit from all walks of life, offering irresistible opportunity for personal riches, radical belief, or twisted pleasure. This approach creates the ultimate distributed organizational structure, almost impossible to unravel. A spreading cancer of ordinary people doing unspeakable things. No one is above suspicion. Made up of autonomous cells, they are everywhere, all but impossible for law enforcement to do anything about. Clients looking for justice are lining up, but with no names to the contracts. So this time, a little more footwork is needed, 47. Our MO is to identify trusted syndicate members, take them out, and analyze the ripples in their digital footprints. With enough input, we'll be able to track down the leaders and shut down the syndicates one at a time. I'll leave you to